Hi, and welcome to another episode of Talking with Tapolci. I'm your host, Jason Tapolci. In the past few episodes, we've been talking a lot about strategy and how important it is to a business. And I recently wrote an ebook called How to Build an Industry-Dominating Strategy. And last week we talked about the sandbox, and we also talked about buyer personas, a differentiator, and the pain that a market is experiencing. And if you haven't caught that episode, I definitely highly recommend you go back and watch that before you watch this one. In this episode, we want to dive a little bit deeper into the funnel of strategy, and we want to talk about your 3-year, your 1-year, and your quarterly goals, okay, or priorities. And in your 3-year, you want to start with your 3-year, obviously, it's the furthest out. And you want to set your targets. So your targets are going to be your financial metrics. They could be revenue, gross profit margin, number of accounts. It's whatever's important to your business. But it's important to remember that whatever you pick for your 3-year targets, you should also use those same metrics in your 1-year targets. Secondly, you're going to want to look at your capabilities, key thrusts or capabilities. And what I mean by that is, what in the next 3 to 5 years, if you're going to target a certain revenue, let's say, what capabilities are you going to have or add or improve so that you can reach those? And that might be something like, in our industry, we just recently went through a switch upgrade. So we outgrew our switch and we had to perform an upgrade and in order to reach the financial goals that I had set for the company. And then lastly, you want to, in the 3-year capabilities or 3 to 5 year capabilities, you want to look at your profit per X. And your profit per X is probably your most important key metric in a business. And here at VoIP Innovations, we sell DIDs, telephone numbers, and our profit per X is profit per DID. And so, that's your cost, what you sell it for and what you buy it for and how much margin you make in between. And so that's what we set ours with. Another one that comes to mind is Southwest Airlines. Theirs is profit per airplane in the sky, whereas most airlines are profit per seat or profit per mile. And so they have a little bit of a different twist on it. And then in the 1-year goals, you're going to also have your targets. And as I mentioned earlier, whatever targets, financial metrics targets that you use for 3-year, you want to use them in the 1 year as well. So everything builds on each other. And you're going to set some annual priorities. Annual priorities might be that we want to bring on a certain amount of switch partners and partner with switch providers and build a partnership to leverage each other for marketing purposes. And so you would throw that in your annual priorities and you would chip away at that over the next 4 quarters or the year. And then lastly, you're going to have your actions. Actions are going to be, what actions do you want to perform to improve your business? So for us here, we do a great job of annual meetings, annual planning sessions. We'll even do daily meetings. We really got away from doing weekly and monthly and quarterly meetings. So that was an action that we set for the year to try to stick to a regular schedule. And then lastly, we have the quarterly planning. Or quarterly goals, and those are also going to have the targets. And again, you want to have the same targets as you used in the 1 and 3-year goals. You're also going to want to have your company priorities or big rocks set there. And your big rocks are going to be, things that you're doing that particular quarter. So in the theme of bringing on more switch partners, it might be to bring on Talenta, one of our current partners, and we set a goal to bring them on, and let's write press releases and all that, and we'll do that in the first quarter. And then lastly, on the quarterly goals, you want to set your critical numbers. Okay, and your critical number is it's the economic engine of your company, let's say. And since we're selling DIDs or telephone numbers, our critical number is DIDs, and so we have a number that we have as a goal to how many DIDs, active DIDs we'd like to have. And that's what everybody pushes towards. So if you were to support, and you saved an account from leaving or from porting out numbers, we consider that a win. That's how you helped us with our critical number. If you're in number porting, you might pour in a couple of more numbers than what they originally had just by simply asking them. And so it's important that everybody's tied to the critical number, from the executive team all the way down to the frontline employees. So if you haven't read my ebook, I talk at great length about all these, each one of these, the three, the 1 year and the quarterly goals. And I also talk about a lot more about strategic planning. And next week, we want to continue the theme of strategic planning and kind of finish it off with the bottom third of the funnel. And that's going to be the actual strategic planning itself, the 2-day planning session, coming up with a theme for the year, a celebration. So if you do hit your numbers, you're going to celebrate, and then a reward system, something that we reward the employees for hitting the numbers. So again, thanks for watching. I'm Jason with Talking with Tapolci.